So you guys might be wondering right now, why am I standing up at the start of this video? Well guys, I only stand up when I am excited, but what am I excited about? Is it the fact that J. Cole is dropping a surprise album out of nowhere this Friday? No, J. Cole, more like J. Corn, miss me with that. Hi guys, this is an alternate CDTV, here to inform you that he does actually like J. Cole. He's just lying about that. He doesn't really think he's corny. Is it the fact that two acts that I love, Ray Shrimmered and Travis Scott, are dropping a collaboration this Friday? No, miss me again. It's the fact, we did it boys, we got a follow on Twitter from the Melon. Was it worth spending 20 to 30 seconds on the intro of this video for? Probably not, but it happened, it's over. Just deal with it. So the XXL 2018 Freshman list will be here in about a month, and that means it is time to make a couple of videos on the XXL Freshman list. Now, despite it becoming much more of a popularity contest recently, the original goal of the XXL Freshman list was to find rappers who were just on the verge of really breaking through into the mainstream and giving the rappers the final push that they need to get up there. But today, we're going to be looking at cases where that failed and examining some of the cases where rappers fell off after appearing on the XXL Freshman list. So with that all being said guys, this is CDTVProductions. You can follow me on Twitter under that name, and you have to do it because the Melon follows me there now, and if he does, you have to. And let's get right into this video. Kicking off our list at number 10, we have Young Dro, who was featured on the 2007 Freshman list.
This grand hustle team of kings is getting rich. I lean and get lit. Lima bean 6, I take breath.
Now, I'm not too familiar with Dro's music, but that's because I rarely hear his name being brought up. He's most well known for the songs Shoulder Lean and FDB, but apart from that, he's just been having less and less success since 2007, you know, that very special year, when he appeared on the Freshman cover. His 2006 album Best Thang Smokin' peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 200, but then fast forward to 2015, and his most recent album, The Reality Show, didn't even crack the same chart. 06 seemed to be the most successful year for Dro, but his relevance has dwindled since then. And at number 9, we have Lil Twist, who appeared on the 2011 Freshman list.
Okay. I never let them know nothing as long as you know you don't. I'ma tell you, girl, you need to move on, move on, move on.
I think Lil Twist's lack of success can really be attributed to the fact that he's seemingly dropped absolutely nothing in the past 2 years. Either that, or whatever he has dropped was more under the radar than a stealth bomber, but unfortunately was dropping way less heat than one. You like that little roast? Working in some metaphors there, man. Fire. In fact, Google his name right now and you'll see that he's most well known for assaulting a Nickelodeon actor. What a fucking claim to fame that is. I mean, he was signed to Young Money, so I'm sure people saw something in him initially, but whatever it was, it hasn't translated into success. And at number 8, we have B.o.B, who appeared on the 2009 Freshman list.
Hold your cup, take a shot, yeah. All night we celebrate, cause we everywhere and you not there. Ha! All we do is pour it up, all night drinks.
B.o.B was an artist that I actually enjoyed quite a lot at first. He dropped music that was pretty poppy early on in his career, but I think he did that style of sound pretty well. And songs like Airplanes are undeniably great. His debut album would go 2 times platinum, and MTV actually named him as the 9th hottest MC in the game in 2010. He would also still have a nice bit of success with his follow-up album Strange Clouds, but his numbers have slowly been dropping and dropping since then. And I think honestly it's because no one really takes him seriously anymore. I mean, he is an outspoken flat earther, and no offense to anyone that is one and watching this video, but right now that doesn't really give you the best public image. And I feel like because of that, B.o.B is known more as a conspiracy theorist now than anything else. Because most of us know the earth is this shape, okay? Well, I do think that is kind of a shame because he used to put out some fantastic songs, but the fact is, no one is really focusing on what he does anymore. And at our 7th spot, we have Trinidad James, who was on the 2013 list.
Gold all in my chain, gold all in my ring, gold all in my watch. Don't believe me, just watch.
Trinidad James is the definition of a one-hit wonder to me. It's safe to say the majority of people know him for the song All Gold Everything, which is an ironic song name considering every track he released after that would go triple cardboard. Not only would Trinidad struggle to have any real success following that song, but he would even get dropped from his major label Def Jam in 2014 before he could even release an album through them. Now, to be fair, he actually did drop a fairly entertaining song in 2016 with Lil Dicky and Mystical called Just a Little Thick, but apart from that, I've not really enjoyed any of his music, and it seems like not a whole lot of other people do as well. And here at number 6, we have Pill, who appeared on the 2010 Freshman list. I mean, he literally named himself after something that leaves a bad taste in your mouth if it stays around for too long. There's gotta be a little bit of irony in that somewhere, because Pill really didn't stick around for long. After 2010, when he appeared on the list, Pill dropped 3 projects and then took a 6-year hiatus. Perhaps it's unfair to say someone fell off when they haven't dropped anything for 6 years, but he has tried to make a return, dropping a song titled Back Right in February of this year. But as far as I know, not many people really know about this song. Looks like Pill really dissolved, but a bit too early. Yeah, apologies for that one. And now at the halfway point of our list, we have Desiigner, who was on the 2016 XXL Freshman list.
Panda, 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 panda. I got broads in Atlanta. Just to lean the family. Credit cards in the scammers.
Now, honestly, I think Desiigner has the chance for a comeback, but to be honest, I highly doubt he'll ever get to the heights he got to when he first released his song Panda. Everybody was remixing that song. It basically earned him 2 spots on a Kanye album and managed to go 5 times platinum. In 2016, he would have another platinum single with Timmy Turner, but since then, he hasn't been that prominent at all. I really think his biggest mistake was not capitalizing on his red hot success quickly enough. He has been working on his Life of Desiigner project for so long, but it still hasn't materialized, and he's already missed his opportunity to drop it when he was at his peak. Not to mention, the new English mixtape which he did drop wasn't that great. It featured a bunch of songs that were basically snippets, and the whole thing just sounded unfinished. I feel like after that, a lot of people gave up on Desiigner, and it's hard to say if that many people will care when his debut album eventually does release. And at number 4, we have Cory Gunz, who was on the 2009 list. I pretty much know Cory Gunz as the guy that actually had a pretty cool verse on 6 Foot 7 Foot by Lil Wayne, and unfortunately for him, that really looks like his biggest claim to fame. Like, I don't even know what to talk about here, because I genuinely only know Cory for that single verse. Now, he has dropped numerous mixtapes, and a couple of them have actually performed pretty nicely, but he's another artist who's just had the issue of not really releasing anything recently. It's kind of weird that Gunz is also signed to Young Money, much like the aforementioned Lil Twist, who also hasn't dropped anything in a long time. Maybe there's a link there, maybe it's nothing, but regardless, Gunz is someone who you most likely haven't heard of in a long time. And at number 3, we have Saigon, who was on the first ever XXL Freshman list in 2007.
Young Felicia was only 4 when she learned how to ride a bike. Now she 14, riding every time Dick and Mike. I tell her that ain't nice. Why you living so trite?
Now, this man must have fell off pretty damn hard because, no disrespect intended, but I did not know who he was until I started researching for this video. Maybe it's because he's never really had something like a hit song, but his first album had a decent chart performance, peaking at number 61, and his second album also charted. However, this time it fell back to number 151 on Billboard. Unfortunately, his most recent album didn't make it to the charts, and honestly, it is kind of debatable if Saigon was really even on in the first place. People definitely saw potential in him because his debut album had some pretty huge features like Jay-Z, Faith Evans, and Q-Tip, but on his recent albums, the features are also a bit less impressive. Not only that, but the critical praise of his albums has also just decreased over time. It doesn't look like Saigon will ever be coming back up, but I may be wrong there. Who knows, we'll just have to wait and see. And at our second spot, we have Kid Ink, who was on the 2012 list.
Chain gang over here, no neckties. But you know I'm all about the business from beginning to the end, and never simping, never slipping, sipping P18.
Kid Ink was dropping hit songs everywhere in 2014 and 2015, but I feel like the style of music he made was destined to have a short shelf life. And it really did. His biggest songs were essentially just summer bangers with the most typical DJ Mustard production, and they usually were topped off with a hook from an artist that could sing to give them more mainstream appeal. And Kid Ink made 5 or 6 huge songs with this exact same formula from 2013 to 2015, and I feel like this is what kind of made him get old pretty fast. He just seemed a bit generic, and he's someone where I cared much more for his singles over his albums. I've never really felt inclined to listen to a full project of his, and that usually indicates fairly low staying power. I mean, not to mention, Show Me, Main Chick, and Hotel were all essentially the same song, and it didn't really make Kid Ink look all that versatile. Taking that into account, it's no wonder that he's been fading away more and more over time. And at the number 1 spot, we have Fettuccino Waparino, who was on the 2015 list. Fetty Wap's Fall Off is one that actually made me a little bit sad, but I'd be lying if I said he didn't bring it on himself. Trap Queen 679 and Again are some of the catchiest songs that I've heard, and I could bump them repeatedly. I liked how he wasn't really that great of a singer, but there was something enticing about the way he used the melodies in his music. Unfortunately, again, like some of the other artists on this list, he seemed to have a formula, and he stuck to this formula on almost every song on his self-titled album. I mean, every single track you would hear a "yeah baby." You'd have Fetty saying A lot. There was a lot of A flows. I think he actually used them before A flows were huge. I might be wrong on that, but now that I think about it, I didn't even really think about what A flows were in 2015, so that's interesting. And he would also feature Monty on a song at every single chance he got, and I get that they're close friends, but it just makes everything look so formulaic. I mean, I just think the issue most people had with that album was that just a lot of the tracks sounded so incredibly similar, and that really was Fetty's biggest weakness. His style and voice was honestly pretty unique at the time, but he ran it into the ground on his first album. His success was just so rapid at first, but now his songs don't even chart, and I think it's his reluctance to change up that has really caused this. Well guys, that's going to be it for the video today. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I just made this video because we're getting very close to the time when the XXL Freshman list will be dropping in 2018. So I thought it would be interesting to, talk about the XXL Freshman list because I got a few video ideas cooked up for that, this being one of them. So let me know if there are any freshmen that you think I missed. Comment down below who you think has fell off the hardest. And like I said at the start of the video, remember to follow me on Twitter under the name CDTVProductions. You can also subscribe to my identical twins channel, CDTV where he uploads reaction videos to new and old music, just any rap albums that he hasn't heard yet. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you all in the next one, and this is ya boy, CDTVProductions, signing out.